They said the Monster King did not bargain. They said he did not forgive, did not pity, did not understand the tremble of empty hands reaching for bread. If you stole even a crust from his lands, they said, your life was forfeit, your family marked, your village left to starve in fear. They also said he could drink a man dry in the space between heartbeats, that his eyes burned like coals, that shadows whispered when he walked. They said many things about the Vampire King. Aurora believed most of them. The bread on the stall was hard and crusted, a day from going stale. The market was closing, storm clouds gathering heavy and dark above the village of Hallowmere. Aurora's hand shook as she reached for the loaf, not from the coming rain, but from the coat of arms carved into the wood, a thorned crown over a crescent moon. His mark. His bread. She had not eaten properly in 3 days. Hallowmere had always been poor, but after the early frost and the king's tithe, nothing grew. Parsnips rotted underground. Turnips were too bitter to eat. Her little brother, Joran, could barely stand. Just take it, whispered Mara behind her. No one's watching. It's the last one. The baker's gone. Aurora stared at the loaf, feeling its faint warmth. Hunger burned slow and dull inside her. She thought of Joran's thin knees, her mother's blank eyes under the leaking thatch. They had sold almost everything: blankets, pots, toys. Bread cost triple now. Some blamed the Monster King. No one dared question it. Warm. Real. Salvation for a day. Thunder grumbled far off. Wind swept through the square, bringing the scent of rain and faint wood smoke from the king's forest. Take it, Mara urged. If he comes, I'll say it was me. He always knows, Aurora whispered. They said the Monster King knew every theft, every lie, every unspoken wish in his domain. His castle overlooked the valley like a waiting bird of prey. Aurora had never looked at it for long. Her stomach cramped. She slipped the loaf inside her thin cloak, acting calm as if this crime were not enough to end her life. She turned to go, and stopped. A figure stood under the eaves of the closed smithy, as if he had always been there. Tall. Wrapped in a long black coat that seemed to drink the light. Dark, straight hair too smooth for any villager. Pale skin like marble. No crown, but she knew. The square was empty save for a drunk asleep under a cart, yet the air felt crowded, watching. Aurora stopped breathing. His eyes were not red, not coals. They were deep brown, almost black, with a strange, starless dullness. He looked at her, saw the small movement in her throat as she swallowed. His gaze dropped to her cloak, then rose again. Bread, he said, voice soft, neither cruel nor kind. Simply observing. Her knees threatened to give out. Everyone knew, if he found you, you did not run. You did not plead. I took it, she said. He watched her, wind teasing a strand of her hair and his, making him, for a heartbeat, frighteningly human. Do you know whose sigil was on that stall? He asked. Yes. Yours. He stepped out from under the eaves. His boots made no sound, yet each step echoed through her. And do you know the law? I stole from the king. The punishment is death. Whose death? Mine. Only mine. Not my brother's. Not my mother's. Not my village. Why? He asked. Because I am the one who took it. Why did you take it? My brother, she forced out. He is 11. We have not eaten. The crops failed. We sold everything. There was no coin left. I thought. You thought you would steal, he finished quietly, and lose everything. Rain began to fall, fine and then thicker, tapping roofs and stone. He did not seem to notice. Silent stretched. Then he lifted one gloved hand, palm up. The bread. Hand shaking, she drew the loaf from her cloak and placed it on his palm. It struck her then, he could not eat it. What use had he for such food? He studied the loaf. This bread, he murmured, baked in my ovens, from grain grown on my land. Kneaded by hands that curse my name even as they break my laws. His gaze met hers again. He extended the bread back to her. Keep it, he said quietly. Feed your brother. The world narrowed to those words and the weight of the loaf on leather. But the law. When was the last time someone saw me enforce that law in this village? He asked gently. She realized she had no answer. Only stories. No, he said. You don't. He closed her fingers around the bread. His touch was not cold, only leather worn soft by use. Do not let him starve. Tears blurred her vision. She had prepared to die. She had not prepared for mercy. Why? She whispered. He looked beyond her, to sagging roofs and broken wheels. His gaze softened, just a little. Because I remember what it is, he said slowly, to be hungry. Not the thirst in the stories. Another hunger, the hollow ache of emptiness. He stepped back, eyes lifting to the dark hills. Tell your village headman, he said, that the next wagon of grain will not pass your valley by. The tithe on this place is halved until the fields recover. But ooh, they say you took. They say many things, he replied. Let them say this, if they like, I have decided you may live. She clutched the bread. Thank you. He nodded once, oddly formal, as if greeting a guest. There is a frost coming, sharper than the last, he added. Do not leave water in the pails outside. It will crack them. He turned. Your Majesty, why help us now? She called. He paused, rain beading on his coat. For 10 years, he said softly, you have had no bandits on your roads. No wolves in your fields. No slavers taking your children. Did you think all monsters wear crowns? She remembered how raider tales had faded. How complaints of lost sheep had lessened. No one had credited him. The bandit lord who preyed on your valley died in the snow, he said. The slaver from the next valley disappeared in spring. I have kept your road safe, little thief. Your borders clear. I have planted trees where your wells ran dry. And each time, you told another monster story to make your children sleep. I do not understand, she said. If you do these things, why let them fear you? Fear is simple, he said. It keeps armies away. It keeps ambitious men from crawling over your fields with bright flags and hungry ledgers. Fear asks no questions. Kindness, he looked at the empty market. Kindness invites debt. Expectation. Resentment when it cannot give enough. For a moment, she glimpsed a loneliness in his eyes greater than any tale of blood. "It is easier," he murmured, "to be hated from afar than to be needed up close." "But you are needed," Aurora said, surprising herself. He smiled then, a flicker of light behind clouds. "Feed your brother, Aurora of Hallowmere. That will be kindness enough for tonight." He stepped into the alley's deepening shadow and was gone. The rain filled the space where he had stood. Aurora went home. Their mother said nothing, only tore the loaf with shaking hands, giving the largest pieces to the children. Joran's eyes lit as he ate. "Where did it come from?" he mumbled. "Someone let me keep it," Aurora said. That night, sleepless, she crept to the small window and pushed the shutter open a finger's width. On the cliff, the castle's silhouette loomed, one high tower candle burning like a trapped star. "Thank you," she whispered into the dark. In that same tower, the Vampire King stood by his window, looking down at scattered village lights. His reflection stared back, pale, unchanged, dark eyes that had watched his first kingdom burn when he had not seemed frightening enough. "It is nothing," he told himself. "A small mercy." Yet he kept seeing the girl's face, her straightened shoulders, the question, why? An old man entered, Thalen, his advisor. "Reports from the borders," Thalen said. "And the eastern poachers are gone. As you ordered, the grain wagons will stop in Hallowmere at dawn." "You saw her," Thalen added. "A child," the king said. "Stealing bread. Prepared to die for it so the others would be spared." "For bread, Thalen. Not gold." "Hunger pushes hearts to hard choices," Thalen replied. "The world is vast," the king murmured. "I am only one monster." They spoke quietly of past mercies, of winter grain freed for flooded villages, of curses born so others could direct their anger somewhere safe. "I do what I can," he said, "in the shadows they fear. And sometimes," Thalen said, "you step out of them. Just enough for one girl to see you." The king looked toward Hallowmere in the distance, imagining Aurora watching over her brother. "Send an herbalist to them," he said. "There is a boy there. Thin, too thin. The fever will come for him this winter if something is not done. Have the herbalist go in the morning." Quietly. Days passed. Grain wagons came. The herbalist came, checked Joran, left herbs and instructions. The village watched in wary awe. Aurora said nothing of that night. Sometimes, fetching water, she looked up at the cliff. The castle shape was always there, watchful. On certain nights, a tiny light glowed in the high tower. She imagined him there, alone with endless decisions, quietly balancing fear and kindness. One evening, as winter finally loosened its grip, Aurora climbed the small hill by the village. Children played below, thin faces now carried faint smiles. She held a fresh loaf from their own oven. She lifted it toward the castle, an awkward salute. "Thank you," she said, not whispering. No answer came. The castle remained a dark shape. Yet in his tower, the king's pen stilled mid-stroke. He did not hear her words, but he felt something change, a gentling in the stories told below, a small shift in the way eyes might look up at his walls. Outside, the first star of evening appeared. He would never be loved like the bright kings of songs. He would always be the monster king, the shadow on the hill. But perhaps, in the quiet places between fear and hope, a few would begin to wonder. Perhaps a girl named Aurora would grow and tell a different story of a night in the rain when she was ready to lose everything for a crust of bread, and the monster had simply said, "Keep it." In time, the tales of cruelty would tangle with softer rumors of grain in the hardest winters, of wolves that never reached the flocks, of slavers who vanished. High in his tower, the vampire king set down his pen and let himself be still. He thought of a girl shaking hands around warm bread, of a boy sleeping with a full stomach, of a village that did not know it was protected and did not need to. The world did not change dramatically that night. No song would sing of it. But in one small valley, fear bent its head to make a little room for something else. And in the quiet places where no one looked, the monster they all dreaded went on adjusting tithes, sending riders, and sometimes stepping out of the shadows just long enough to put one piece of bread into one pair of desperate hands.